Hey Zen fam, so I'm just in from work. I was reading about this on the bus and I felt I had to talk about it. Yes, I'm still in my work clothes. Right. So Ubisoft has blundered again. Not bad enough that they have set back, their Skull and Bones game again, and that we still have no word about Beyond Good and Evil 2. And we've heard about all the games that are like not happening. Apparently, the games that we don't know anything about because they're unannounced and no details whatsoever. Although apparently one of them is going to be a virtual reality Splinter Cell, which could have been interesting, but who knows. But the idea that yet again we miss out on Sam Fisher, for some of you out there, I know that's important. But what really sticks in the craw is 11 months ago, I made a video where basically I was saying, like, Ubisoft, get your act together. Because there's a movement of staff members at Ubisoft called A Better Ubisoft. Or Ubisoft, depending on you like to pronounce that particular word. And basically, they'd made a list of demands of what they wanted from Ubisoft. And they had upped their demands and upped their, well, not demands, but upped their presence from 200 days, hence that. So 200 days later, they're like, right, you've not done nothing, you've no said nothing, you've said some pretty words, but you've not said anything of substance. And all they wanted was, to be included in the decision-making process, was to actually be, part and parcel of it. So they wanted to be having partnership with leadership, working more closely with the devs, and the devs working more closely with them. So then, things could be smoother and made better. Now, Ubisoft recently has fallen on some, shall we say, some tricky financial ground. It's not been so great for them, basically because they've not been putting out as much stuff. And some of the stuff that they have put out has not been as successful as they would like. As good as the games are, there is a point to be made that Ubisoft kind of does Ubisoft games. Find the tower, open the map, go for the collectibles, rinse and repeat. This is very much evident within the Far Cry games, within the Ghost Recon games, and especially within, of course, Assassin's Creed. But if you are into Ubisoft, you know this is what you're going to expect, this is what you're going to get, and you signed up for that. I know I have. On a great many occasions I have played, as I've said in numerous videos in the past, including the one from 11 months ago, which I'm going to link in the description, right? And I'll see if I can put it as some sort of annotation or something at the end for you to click and go back to, although I do warn you the sound is a bit janky because before I got the lovely mic. Okay, but look, we're in a point now where, globally speaking, at least in Western society, unions are only becoming stronger and getting more of a voice. The workers, who are, quite frankly, you and I, okay, basically the makers of the wealth, the CEOs are only the guys that basically gather from the wealth. They're the ones that get wealthy, but we're the ones that make the stuff. Alright? Someone's got to make money, admittedly, so then the money can get put about and stuff, but there is a distinct lack of balance, shall we say, especially within the video game industry. So, they wanted, an equal hand in things, to be taken more seriously, for them to stop moving troublesome members of the upper management from department to department to department whenever a scandal releases, because there have been some members of upper echelon staff of Ubisoft who have done some not great things. I'm not going to speak of the great things because, one, I'm not sure what YouTube will do with that, whether they might slap my wrist, because God knows what you can talk about now in modern YouTube with the algorithm and such, and with all the new rules that keep popping up out in the middle of nowhere. And also, I don't want to get done for libel in case some of the information I've heard about some individuals could or could not be wrong. Suffice to say, though, there have been allegations made and some of them have been substantiated, and that's as far as I'm going to go with that. Now, 11 months ago, as I said, they made these they made this series of things that they wanted to see happen from Ubisoft. Now Ubisoft has turned around, or rather, Yves Guillemot, the head honcho of Ubisoft, and he's written this letter going like, right, you lot, you're gonna have to really tighten your belts. You're gonna have to like see what savings you can make, and we're gonna have to see what we can do, see what we can cut, see what we can change, save a bit of cash, and try and push forward and keep putting out amazing games. Now this was meant, okay, get this, as a way of sort of G'ing up the staff and motivating them to, make cool stuff and push forward and become more excellent and, work through the hard financial times that Ubisoft is going through right now. It didn't have that effect. What did it do? Well, I'll tell you what it did. It got the backup of all the workers, and they were like, "Ease, mate, are you having a giraffe?" It's like, nah, this is not on. And simply because he's not taking a pay cut. Now, back in times gone by, when Nintendo had not done everything it wanted to do, Satoru Iwata, okay, I think I just said his name wrong. Anyway, Iwata, he took a pay cut. He seriously did. Top guy of Nintendo. He took a pay cut when Nintendo wasn't doing as well as what it should have been doing. Admittedly, it's Nintendo, so it's still making buckets of money because Nintendo just prints the stuff. But when expectations were not reached, Iwata took a pay cut before the staff got a pay cut. And what happened to Igate fraternity, Yeah. I mean, come on, Yves, you're French, mate. You know what unions do. You know what the power of people can do. You really want to mess with that? I mean, we've got Starbucks rising up in America. All across America and the UK, and I believe Australia too, there are different types of public sector worker rising up going, enough is enough. And that's become a hashtag over here on this wet little island with our massively, put upon NHS, who's had their budgets slashed and slashed and slashed, who have been loaded up with managers to the eyeballs that don't really make anything of note for the NHS, had been loaded up with PFIs, and they've got spent oodles of money, the government spent oodles of money keeping a non-functioning substandard PPE in a bunch of shipping containers somewhere in the UK. It's like they'll let the bankers have massive bonuses, they'll do tax cuts for the rich, but public sector workers don't get enough to live on? Yeah, something stinks right there. But hey, that's governments for you, isn't it? But I'm getting off track. So basically, Ubisoft is going, yeah, work harder so we can still make the same amount of money we made before, but you could be poorer. Yeah, that ain't gonna fly, Yves. That ain't gonna fly at all, bruh. And it's not right. And I know I'm not alone in calling this out, but I want to call it out as somebody who is a fan of Ubisoft games and has enjoyed a great many of them. I don't know if they'll ever see this. I doubt Yves Guillemot will ever see this, but dude, seriously, have a word with yourself, mate. You are taking your company down a bad path. Your stock is devalued in the company. Your stock is already worth less than what it was. You worked your bum off to make Ubisoft a power company that couldn't be swallowed up by Vivendi. And that was amazing. That was an underdog story come true. And you came out and you did mad awesome software after that. And for a number of years. Vivendi was like, okay, you did the job, you did the business. Now, it's like you've gone back on yourselves. Don't let this happen. And if you do want to sell yourselves off, fine. I mean, I'm all up for the idea of you being bought by Sony anyway. But that's only because I reckon that the games would be amazing. I'm not really thinking about acquisitions and, Microsoft buys this or Sony should buy that. I don't care about all that malarkey. I just think that the games would be awesome. But of course, as always, I do need your comments in the comments section. Is there something I'm missing? Is there something you want to interject? Then please do typey down below. Let Zembloke know. Mind you, Microsoft are not alone in this. Information has come to light today that Microsoft is in a bit of financial stook because they've had to let go a whole bunch of people and close or massively cut down the operations of various departments, like their the VR headset thingy. I forget what you call it now. Not Oculus Rift. HoloLens. That's it. HoloLens. HoloLens is basically now dead, more or less. You know, there was military contracts with that thing, and now it's effectively in the bin. And yet somehow Microsoft is still going ahead, or at least plans to still go ahead, if they can get the permission, to do that massive bite of Activision Blizzard. But they're letting all this staff go. And you watch, in a little while, that Game Pass is going up. Yep, totally. In fact, if anything, I reckon the price of the systems are not long behind it. Sony had to do it. Now, yeah, it's fair to say that Microsoft is strong in the wallet, but that's Microsoft, the entire company. Xbox division of Microsoft, different kettle of fish. So, because Microsoft's wings all have different approaches and different business models, I think it's fair to say that Microsoft to be looking at what the Xbox division has been doing and how it's been going. And I think they're going to take a wee yank on the purse strings and go, right, Game Pass is going up. Price of the system is going up. And it'll still probably be the best deal in gaming, but it won't be quite as sweet going forward. In fact, they may even cut parts of the deal. Who knows? It's the way the world is. Everything gets cut, everything gets pulled back. Sorry to depress you guys, but I saw this as I was literally on the way home. I was reading articles on the bus, and I just, literally got in from work, and I just had to speak about it. So as I say, please typey, give me your thoughts. # support Scottish YouTubers, and of course, as always, aye, no bother.